key override, just in case the batteries were ever to fail, you will have a way to get in. Okay?
Okay.
When you want to leave for the day to lock the door, all you need to do is press the little lock button.
Okay.
This lock takes two codes, an A code and a B code. Typically what people do is give their family the A code, any dog walkers, babysitters, anything like that, the B code. That way if you had to fire somebody, you only have to tell one or two people a new code versus everybody a new code. So for right now, what we do is I have to set codes in here, but I don't want to know what your final code is for security purposes. So I set it to 1, 2, 3, 4 for the A code and 5, 6, 7, 8 for the B code. You could use either code when you're coming home. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Or you could use the B code, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? That's basically everything on the outside. So we'll move on to the inside half.
Come this way, Mom.
Okay.
Your back cover. What it'll do is it'll slide up and then just pull off. The only two important things about the back cover are these two tabs right here. They interlock into two little cutouts.
Yeah.
When you're putting this back on, just make sure that these two tabs are above the surface of the lock.
Okay.
And it'll just press on and slide back down.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. So at night, all I have to do is flip it over.
Yep. Just like that.
We're cool.
Or you can,
Great.
if you have a smartphone, you can use the smartphone to do it also. Your batteries are contained in a battery box right here. They're just regular AA batteries. Do not use rechargeable and
Okay.
do not use lithium-ion core batteries. They will
Okay.
void the warranty.
Okay.
Any warranty issues will go through ADT, not through my company. I'm just paid to put this on the door, make sure it works correctly, and then teach you guys how to use it.
Okay.
You'll notice on the top of the battery box, it says door with some arrows. When you're putting the batteries back in, just make sure that those arrows are pointing to the door, and they'll just slip in. You'll hear a few beeps. Once this little light goes out right here, you'll see back here, then you know the lock's ready to use.
Okay.
Okay? You have about 10 minutes to pull the batteries out and change them. After 10 minutes, the lock will forget all its codes and you'll need to reprogram codes in. If you stay under 10 minutes, you won't have to worry about any of that. You just take them out, put them back in, you're good to go.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Excuse me. Here's the set of instructions on how to change the codes. I print out a second, bigger, easier to read version, plus I give you the ones that came with the installation instructions and all that. Okay? So you will have 3 copies on how to change the codes. I'll change your B code so you guys can see how it's done right now. It'll involve this big black button. This is your selector for selecting A slot or B slot. In order to select the A, you'd press it 1 time. In order to press it 2 times, you'd press, or in order to pick the B, you'd press it 2 times. So we'll go ahead and change the B from 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'll put it to 1, 3, 5, 7. So I'll press the big black button twice. Step out here, enter my new code, 1, 3, 5, 7, followed by the lock button. You'll hear this big long beep. If you don't hear that big long beep, you did something wrong. Always change the code with the door open, and always test your codes afterwards. So our old code was 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. You'll notice it did not unlock. Say you accidentally pushed the wrong button or a small child with you or something. To clear out your keypad, just press the lock button again. You'll notice that the keypads will light up green. Okay, and then you can enter your code. 1, 3, 5, 7. Okay, double check my A code still there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'll switch that back to 5, 6, 7, 8 again. So I'll press the big black button twice. My new code, followed by the lock button. We're going to go ahead and test it. 1, 3, 5, 7. Didn't work. Clear out my keypad. 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go.
Alrighty.
You notice you have some dip switches here. Dip switches are just like light switches. Up is on, down is off. The first dip switch right here is for this little LED indicator light right here. What this does is it tells you the status of the lock at any given time if you have this feature turned on. So in the unlock position, this will blink green, as you just saw, every 10 seconds or so. In the lock position, it'll blink orange. Now.
There we go.
If you ever see it blinking red, that's the inside half of the unit telling you it's time to change the batteries.
Oh,
Okay. On the outside, what would happen is you would enter your code, the lock would unlock, and then the keypad's going to flash 3 times red.
That's
That's
saying
the
change
outside.
the battery.
That's the outside telling you to change the battery. So
Okay.
on both sides of the door, it'll warn you that it's needing
And if
some
you
new
forget,
battery.
you can always use your key.
Correct. Or
If you don't get it done in time or something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or say you're on vacation and it died while you're on vacation, you never
And
saw the
somebody-
light, you
right.
can still get in. Okay. Having a feature like this on will kill your batteries a little bit faster. The manufacturer's recommended battery life is 1 year at 15 openings per day. You open it less, you should get a little longer. You open it more, you should get a little less. But having features like this LED indicator light, which is asking for energy every 10 seconds, will kill your batteries a little bit faster. But that 1 year rating is including having that on.
Okay.
So, just to let you know, I would highly recommend going out and buying another brand new set of batteries. These are supplied by ADT, but they sit in a warehouse for God knows how long.
Just
and
be ready.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen them brand new out the box, and it'll tell me they're already dying, and
So just regular Energizer
Yep.
AA batteries.
Yep, alkaline.
Okay.
Okay. So the second toggle switch is for what's called the auto lock feature. So your door is locked. You come home, you'll unlock your door. From this point, you now have 30 seconds to open your door and re-shut your door. After 30 seconds, without anything being pressed in either the pulse system on the lock would relock itself. What that's typically used for is on rental properties. So when the tenant leaves for the last time, it just guarantees that when nobody's there, that it secures itself. The other thing people use it for is if you have a child with autism or a parent with
Don't want
dementia.
them walking out.
Exactly. That way you know every time the door opens and it shuts again, it will be locked, and it's just trying to help corral them. If there's no need for that feature, I would highly recommend turning it off, because what ends up happening is you come home with an armful of groceries, you take longer than 30 seconds, and your dog's in your way, and you're not paying attention. The lock doesn't care. It's still going to go back to lock. You go and swing this shut.
We're gonna make a big old.
Yeah, you end up start getting that big mark that you already got right
we
there.
already have one of those. Yep.
And you'll also start to damage this piece. And I'll let you know that this piece is only used in these electrified locks.
So
I
you have
don't
to
stock
replace
that
the
piece.
entire thing.
No, we can replace this piece, but I don't stock that piece because it's only used in this one product line. I do not know of another locksmith that stocks it either, so it would have to be ordered. We would have a piece that would work temporarily in its place just to keep you secure until the correct part came in. But again, it's just the way it is. So if there's really no need for that feature, I'd highly recommend leaving it
And
off.
you have it in the off position
Correct.
now. Okay.
Yeah, it comes from the factory off.
Okay.
So, would you like that on or off?
Off.
Okay. So your third toggle switch right here is for the outside keypad to beep every time you press a button. It's just for validation. That's up to you if you'd like to keep that on. Sometimes in apartment complexes, things like that, your neighbors may be finicky. They don't want to hear you beep and pressing the button at 3 in the morning or whatever. So you can turn that feature off. I highly recommend leaving it on for the first month or two, just while you're getting used to using the lock and its
Yeah,
operation.
she'll know that she pushed the button in enough to
Yeah.
Register.
make it go.
So I leave that one on personally. Your fourth toggle switch is not currently used at this time. It's for any future features they may add to the lock. So say they teach you how to jump off the door and make your coffee in the morning. You have to switch that on and jump off the door and make your coffee in the morning. That's basically the full extent of
Okay.
your lock. Now, if you give me the key from your old lock,